Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you. And
this is why I intro.
Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about sex. Ooh, let's talk about sex. I'm not gonna rap like that. I'm gonna leave that for later.
I showed him the title.
Okay.
We can just move on.
Alright, so it's not just sex, guys. So if it's not just sex, what else is it?
You tell
what
me.
What could it possibly be?
I don't know.
It's your identity being tied up in sex, your self-worth, and your spiritual connection.
Alright.
Alright, 3 simple things. So let's get started. The right starting point with this is 3 simple things as well. Understand sex as part of oneness. Been our symbol this entire series.
It's been your symbol.
You've done it too.
Have I?
He's totally done it, guys. Tell him he's done it. You have. Oneness. Receive sex. Receive sex as a good gift from a good God, and receive your spouse as God's gift to you. So, in that, we're talking about not taking advantage of your spouse's body and not mistreating your spouse.
Should we have prefaced this topic?
What?
What if kids are watching?
Well, the title should tell the kids not to
You shouldn't be watching.
But they can watch and learn.
Okay.
For the future,
For when you're
for
married.
a very long time down the road.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
So, anyways, as I was saying, in those 3 points, it's kind of important to also know that not taking advantage of your spouse and all of that is the idea that it's kind of in the Bible, and I'm trying to see, it doesn't have it in here, and I believe it's in Ephesians, it talks about sex and not withholding sex from your spouse, etc., etc. That's a whole other discussion, but part of that is great sex. People ideally want to have great sex with their spouses. So what could be preventing us from achieving that climatic sex? Go.
My turn?
Yes.
Okay. Stop saying go to me.
Go.
It's so demanding, so forceful.
Your turn. Is that better?
No, just I can get it. It's natural. It'll happen. Like I'm sitting here waiting. I'm trying to talk. Anyway. So we go over the below the line factors, and so basically these are a couple of categories, or 10 categories, that can contribute to not so good as in love-making department. So they are things like poor communication, loss of trust, past experiences, definitely, insecurity, lack of affection, differences. I didn't mean that on wemi.
Yeah, I was like, why do you look at me?
Differences, between you and your spouse, schedule, stress, health issues, and skills and technique. So those are 10 categories, very very broad again, but they can all contribute independently to not the greatest lovemaking in in your relationship, in your marriage, and so it's very interesting. So for example, poor communication. If you and your spouse aren't on the same page, it's gonna hinder the lovemaking process. And so it's basically what the goal was for us is you take all 10 categories and you evaluate yourself. And where do you think you fall in terms of a scale of 1 to 10. And the low numbers are good because you don't want to have a lot of loss of trust.
That means it's not an issue if it's a low number, and if it's a high number, it's a major issue.
Yeah, and then basically you minus those from 100, and that's your great sex score.
Yep. So the ideal, you want to have 100. No, wait.
I guess 90.
Yeah, you want to have 100. Because that means you're not taking away from it.
But you have to say for each factor assess from 1 to 10.
I guess.
So I guess
91?
you can't be 90. 90 is the perfect score.
Perfect score.
So
let's start off with communication in a sense. So that's really just, I feel like for some people, it's hard to talk about sex with their partner in an open way.
Yeah.
So it's really learning that, and when you have this conversation with your spouse, no barriers should be in place. You should just be complete open communication. So let's just talk about, do you like our sex life? How do you like? What do you like in sex? What do you not like? Talk about those things. Talk about trust. Like, what's one thing that your partner does that maybe unsettles you? Something that's bothering you in your relationship right now? Talk about that. Talk about insecurities in your relationship. What makes you feel insecure, or what could potentially make you feel insecure in the future?
What about lack of affection? You know, you could say one thing that really means a lot in this area would be, or one thing you wish there was more of. Stress, big one. You know, the thing that's stressing me out the most at this time is tell your spouse, because if it's work, if it's family, if it's just life, you know, those things are important. Schedule is also a big one. You know, when you think about our schedule at this phase in our life, you feel busy maybe, and just make sure you're on the same page.
Yeah, and just, you know, talk about changing your schedule and to allow more space and time to be intimate with each other, because that is an important part of your marriage relationship.
Absolutely.
Talk about differences, the difference that you guys have sexually that you might not understand, or that you wish the person understood better about you. Share those differences, because I think that's where a lot of issues might lie, is not sharing your differences and what you might like that your spouse doesn't like, and vice versa. And what you're doing to your spouse, like, I don't like you doing that. I never told you before, but I don't like it. Talking about those things. Past experiences, things that might still be lingering in your relationship and the person's individual thoughts and minds. Talk about that.
Health issues are obviously one. Hopefully, you know, this doesn't affect too many people out there, but unfortunately it does. And, you know, if you know, you're sick or whatever.
It could even be just having, like, maybe if your partner gets the cold a lot. Like, it could just be that. And does that affect your sex life?
You get tired. And finally, skills or technique. You got to be open and willing to tell your partner what you like and what you don't like.
Yeah. So what you do with this is agree on 2 things that you can do with your partner to move towards great sex, and work on it, and choose what you think is best for you. And what will make your sex even better? This is so weird to talk about.
And finally, I think this is finally,
Yeah.
the great sex principles. There's 3 P's: reading, recycling. Oh wait.
Those are R.
It's also reading, writing. I don't know. It's recycle, reduce, reuse.
Yeah.
Reading, writing, and arithmetic.
But that's a W. Writing is not an R.
I know. It's a joke, but
Okay.
they still. Anyway.
Okay.
The 3 P's. Priority. Prioritize sex. Passion. Show your woman or your man the passion that you have for them.
Become a student of your spouse to determine what makes them passionate.
And playfulness. Be sure to have fun.
Tickle, tickle, tickle. I don't know, I'm tickling myself. Tickle, tickle, tickle.
You're not a good tickler. Don't tickle, please.
I can tickle Dave, guys. It's bad. It's bad. He gets really...
She's not a good tickler, though. I'm very ticklish. So, it should be so easy, but it's like,
there you go.
Like, she hurts me.
No, I don't.
It's so awkward because she, like, pinches. Anyway. But playful. So, priority, passion, and playfulness.
Some books that are recommended for this, we have Kiss Me Again by Barbara Wilson, Sheet Music by Kevin Lehman, The Good Girl's Guide to Great Sex.
Can we just roll back? Get it? Sheet music? Music in the sheets?
Yes.
Get it? Yeah. Great. I'm just saying, that's gold. I didn't get that the whole time at the conference. I remember reading it and being like, what? This is a stupid title. But this is why I like titles. The last session, I do no clue, stupid title. Maybe like down the road, I'll just be like, oh, of course.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep going. The Good Girl's Guide to Great Sex by Sheila Ray Gregoire, and Close Calls by Dave Carter. We'll list those books in the description box below if you're interested in checking them out, and they might help you in your sex life.
Cool.
Cool. So that is... It's not just
sex.
Now that we've talked about sex, baby, we'll see you later.
You know what's funny? Just before we go, I just want to share this. It's funny. So I hold this up to show you guys, and then I can see myself, or I'm still showing because I'm looking to try and see if you guys can see it. But now I completely block Wemi. So it's kind of funny. Every time I do it, it's like I block you, and I'm just like, hey! That's on purpose. That's so I can see if you guys can see.
Bye, guys. We'll see you in the next video. Bye. Bye.